Talk a bit about your World Cup team. Muntazar's probably the one getting you most excited?
Yeah, for sure. You know, I was so impressed with him last time. Obviously a track record, and he won sort of hands and heels, and you know, halfway down the back I felt like I was just in a canter on him, which is just always a sign of a high class horse, and he did it so easily. I don't think he had a hard race at all, and to do that, you know, not having to really push him out and to do the track record was phenomenal, really.
It really was. And some talk about stretching him out in the future. Do you think he'd get the 10 furlongs round here?
I think he would. I think at some stage you'd have to try. You know, obviously whether it's this year or next year. But you know, it's in England he didn't stay. But I think he's a different horse now, and I think, you know, he's got so much speed early on in a race that on the dirt it's very important. You must be able to travel. If you don't travel, you're not going to finish, no matter what trip you run over. So. I think at some stage it'd be worth stretching him out. He always gallops out past the line very well. So, yeah, something to try for the future anyway.
And if the worst was to happen and 3 days before the World Cup they draw you out in 14, 15, something like that, he's got the sort of tactical ability to overcome that?
Yeah, I think he has. I think although he's a big horse, he's got gate speed, and the one thing he doesn't like is being short for room. There's a couple of times he's become unstuck round here is when we haven't made the running because they might have gone a bit too quick or something, and then the pace has steadied, and then he's got into a bit of a pocket, and he likes to get going forward. So obviously he's got speed to go from a low draw, and he can go from a wide draw. I don't think it's too much of a negative.
Would he be as good as you've ridden round here,
thoroughbred-wise? Definitely, yeah, for sure. I think he's one of those horses. He's got better and better with every run, and the other night was as good as I've seen a horse's performance around here over a mile.
Did you realise you were going that fast?
No, as I said, it felt like he was just doing a good, you know, good swinging half speed down the back, and you know, I was always taking a pull out of him. So it's a great feeling when they're like that.
Yeah, it must be. And you'll also, of course, ride Ekhtiar. I imagine you could pick him over Fatenar in the Alquois?
Yeah, for sure. He's another one who's improved with every run. It was a great run behind Blue Point. Look, we wouldn't have beaten Blue Point last time, but I was very much drawn away from him, and I had to commit earlier than what I did. It'd be the sort of horse I'd love to get on the coattails of him and follow him, and hopefully would be a bit closer. But like I said, he's improved with every run. Gelding's made a big difference to him. We thought he was quite a high-class horse in England, and it just didn't quite happen for me. And like I said, since coming out here, he's been gelded, and that's been the making of him.
Yeah, he certainly looks like a horse who next year will be even better, and you know, Blue Point might not be around next year. Do you think he can maybe, it's early days to say this, maybe fill the gap left by Ertijah?
For sure, yeah. I mean, Ertijah was special. Whether it quite fill the gap, but I'm certain he can step up to the grade in those big races and be a big contender for them. But I think there's only one Ertijah really, and you know, it'd be hard to fill his boots.
And an interesting one sort of developed over the last couple of weeks. Jarbath's going to come over from the UK for the Derby.
Yeah, he's. I went back and rode him in the Kentucky Derby trial at Kempton, and he won nicely that day. He's been to Southall. He won very well there. That surface is probably as near as you can get to here, and he's handled the dirt very well. So it makes sense for him to come. I don't think really, you know, if you stay around in England, you're not going to be running for the same sort of prize money, and I don't think we could do any more with the horse, you know, for the race. So he ticks all the boxes, and you know, hopefully he'll come and run a big race.
Has he got the early speed that you need on this dirt?
Yeah, I think he has. It's another level again when you come here, you know. But at home, he's always gone forward in his races, and he's been able to break from the stalls well and travel. So, but we'll find out here when we get here.
And he's by McAdram, who was just beaten second in a World Cup honour to Peter. It'd be quite nice if he could win on the big night, wouldn't it?
It'd be brilliant. Obviously, you know, being by McAdram, which is Sheikh Hamdan's horse, and you know, it'd be a great advertisement.
We'll talk a bit about Thamin. You mentioned you were just a bit unlucky last time.
Yeah, I mean, we went from having a nice position to a bad position. The horse in front of us just stopped on the bend, and it took him out of the race. And you're never going to get going again after that. But I remember coming racing that night, and I thought him and Munster were my, you know, really looking forward to riding him, and it just didn't work out. But it showed at Jebel Ali he's got, you know, plenty of ability. So yeah, he's a horse for next year, and it's nice that he's come along. His level of form in England wasn't that strong, but he certainly stepped up to it here.
And you'd be keen to give him another shot on this dirt rather than switch onto the turf if you were given the choice?
Well, obviously, look, I think he's very versatile. For me, he's got a lot of natural pace, and like I said earlier, you need natural pace on the dirt to hold a position. So, yeah, I'd like to see him back on the dirt.
And all things being well, you pick up the ride on Desert Encounter. I have to say, he surprised me. I thought that was a massive run the other night.
It was, because everything went wrong, and it's completely the wrong way to ride him. He's a horse who likes to be held up off a strong pace, and they walked around, and you know, he got a little bit involved too early, and he ran with the choke out for most of the race, and then they were going that slow. I thought we were going to break into a trot going around the bend. So, you know, I just had to let him, he sort of dragged me to the front really. So it was a massive run. He'll improve fitness for the run. David's, you know, he's a brilliant trainer. He'll have him spot on for the big night. I would imagine he'd have a good chance.
Yeah, I think you have a massive chance. You say he's going to come on a lot from that. And then after Dubai World Cup, straight back to Europe for you?
Yep, straight back, and we've got sort of Guineas trials come around very quickly, so I'm looking forward to that. And then obviously, yeah, we've got hopefully some nice horses.